Why? I think the major answer is on the mast. Can you see the shape of the harbor? This is a natural port which was located in front of this valley at that time, very well protected from the waves and the currents. So this was the suitable port and the location for it. They found so many marble quarries on the mountains and water sources on the mountain. And they built a magnificent city here at 334 200 years.
Yeah, they are. So that's what he's doing now.
But at 133 before Christ, this famous city occupied by Rome. Ladies and gentlemen, the word inside of us, maybe you can remember, I said Ephesus is a Greco-Roman city. Do you understand what I mean now? It was established by Greeks first and built by Romans at 133 before Christ. Ladies and gentlemen, at 1st century AD, the population in Ephesus reached up to 4 million people, including the Greek and Roman population, which was a great number. These are the peak time of the Roman era. And ladies and gentlemen, until the end of 6th century AD, Ephesus was the trade center of the whole Asia. But at the end of 6th century AD, what happened? Like I told you, the river meandered, closed the entrance of this port by bringing silt. And the sewage of the city was running to that port all the time. So when the circulation stopped at the port, pollution started, heat, pollution, mosquitoes, and conclusion is malaria. And unfortunately, thousands of people died from malaria in Ephesus. And at the end of 6th century AD, people left Ephesus. I want to tell one important thing right now. 250,000 people, once upon a time, they were living in Ephesus. Isn't it too small to be a public theater? We called this building Boliterion. The word meaning is Senate, council chamber. The capacity of this building is only 400, and once upon a time this building had a wooden roof in order to keep the conversation, privacy inside. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid 65–70% of the building is not original. Only the lower parts are original. At 1950s, during the restoration, archaeologists couldn't find enough original material. The reason is when malaria started in Ephesus at the end of 6th century AD, before people escaped from here to Constantinople, they recycled the material. They got lots of marble from here, and they used that marble during the construction of Constantinople after 6th century AD. If you go Istanbul today, you may see several beautiful churches which dates after 6th century AD. One of them is Hagia Sophia, St. Sophia. If you go to that church, believe me, 25–30% of the construction material is taken from Ephesus. This is the biggest problem of the archaeologists. Sometimes they cannot find enough original material in the excavations. These that we watched before, they were thrown to the wild animals, you know, in the arenas. Unfortunately, most of them are the real stories, and these are done in this time period. Until 3rd century AD, this temple was standing in a perfect condition, but at the end of 3rd century AD, there was a very big riot in this town, in this area, between Christians and pagans, and during that riot, that temple completely destroyed. Ladies and gentlemen, now it's time to prepare your cameras, because the next thing that I'm going to...
This is about 1 mile. Isn't that what he said? 1 kilometer.
It's the main road, Roman road leading into the city.
This is really wet. Guess it won't hurt it. Oh man, look at all this.
Conversation secret inside. Did you notice that channel? Fresh water was running through that channel at that time, and every next to single seat, there were some sticks standing around 1 feet long, and there were some sponges tied on it. I don't want to tell the details. You understand the running water and the sponges, am I right? Summer, these are comfortable to sit on. Winter, how did they heat them? Do you have any idea? They sent their slaves here. Slaves sat this places, kept this places warm until their masters came here. Believe me, this is not a story created by a tour guide. This is a true information. Do you know seat warmers? Yeah. Do you know where that word comes from? Here. I think I'll pass. Ladies and gentlemen, if you ask my personal opinion, being a slave in that time and sitting on a cold marble is a piece of cake. Theater by 10. Why 10? Because nearly 65–70% of the population were slaves in that time period. 15–20% full family, no middle class, 10% is the high society. So in order to find the total population, we usually multiply by 10 because only the 10% of the population could afford to go to a play in that time. In the excavations around this building, we found many clay tickets. That sizes clay tickets. Clay, baked clay, and all of them have faces carved on it. Some of them are smiling faces, some of them are opposite. From this we can easily understand that if it is a comedy or a tragedy, don't miss it. Doesn't matter which concert it is. Believe me, it is something else. Ladies and gentlemen, this theater is a very special theater for Christians, because do you know the word Ephesians in Bible? St. Paul preached Ephesians. Yeah. That story passed in that theater. When Paul came to Ephesus at 1st century AD, his dream was to spread Christianity. But in Ephesus, thousands of people were earning their living from trade, and they were sculptors, they were silversmiths, they were making the idols of the gods, and they were selling them to the pirates, to the sailors. And one day Paul came to Ephesus and he preached to Ephesians in that theater, and he said that there's only one God. You cannot worship to the gods that you made it. This is sin, he said. Of course, silversmiths, they didn't like that idea.